welcome back to the Awkward Thinking Podcast. I'm Nas, aka Stokes.
I'm Vince.
And we are the Awkward Thinkers. Woo! There we go. I didn't, the button was fucked up. There we go. Yes. How you been, man? Miss you.
I've been good, man.
Miss you, Poppy.
All right.
Yeah,
we not starting the episode off like this, man. Chill out, man.
What's been new, man?
Same shit, just a different day. You know, just went home. That was nice. Seen a lot of people that I didn't. I did, but I didn't. You know, when I go home now, I don't be wanting to, like, I want to stick to the people that I know and let that be it, if that makes sense.
It doesn't. Stick to the people you know. You can know a crackhead.
I know a couple crackheads.
I do. You know, crackheads. I grew up with a lot of
my
crackheads.
Family. No, for real. Two of my aunties was crackheads.
Oh,
they both got the same name. I'm not gonna drop their name because that's disrespectful. I feel like, but they got up out of it. I'm proud of them. Okay. Like, so yeah, I do know a couple. Like,
I know like a crackhead. Her name was Miss Angie. And like, I told you a story.
We need to have her on the show at this point.
Miss Angie,
is she alive?
No, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
How you don't check on everybody? I just feel like everybody.
Nobody checks on a fucking crackhead.
When our neighborhood crackhead died, we knew about that. I'm so serious.
But that's the thing. Nobody's like verbatim.
People, y'all don't have like a Cleveland remembrance, or okay, so like I'm from Cleveland, so of course we got a Cleveland remembrance page. But you from Philly, y'all don't got one of those.
I feel like I'm not checking in on the neighborhood. Like, it'll be fucked up. Like, it's a couple people that I know in North Philly that was a little like drunks and shit like that. Yeah, it's fucked up. My mom be more hurt because she grew up knowing them. But like me, it's just like, I don't really give a fuck.
See, I don't know. It's like growing up, like we was all just like the neighborhood crackhead, and not to make the neighborhood crackhead seem like a sideshow or anything, or like anything to like aspire to be or anything, but like, you know, our neighborhood crackheads were like cool people. They was like, they would, you know, they was of course doing drugs and shit, but they was also like just shit. They was happy as hell. They was people who was just happy as hell. Like, they'd talk to you about anything you wanted to talk about or anything they needed to talk about. Niggas dropping advice on you and you like, shit, bro, you right. Like, that shit, yeah. I
mean, hard times when you doing crack, so I guess you got all the advice in the fucking world. And I've seen a lot of like handymen be crackheads. Like, it's a lot of handymen.
I feel like if I'm doing crack and I'm going back to it and like I seem like I'm okay, it's for a reason. Maybe I am okay. Like, maybe the crack is really like, you know how some drugs take you up out of like, or they say some drugs take you up out of like this dimension or whatever,
like DMT and ayahuasca,
shit like that. Yeah. If crack do that for you and you go somewhere else and for however long, I don't know like how long a crack high is.
Yeah, that's what I've never noticed. Like, how long?
Like, I feel like maybe it's like a 30-45 minute high. But listen, if you go be high for 40 minutes and you spending like your last minute, like your last little bit of money for that,
I feel like that's an extreme ass high, but go ahead.
But if you willing to spend your last money for it, I feel like it's something there that's worth it. Like,
gotta be.
Maybe the crack is hitting.
Okay. No. So how are you mentally, man? How's everything on that end?
A nigga be tired. I'm tired. I'm good mentally though. Shit has definitely been a lot better, so I'm good mentally. Shit isn't like I don't know. Shit isn't bad right now, but I've also like come to the realization like sometimes shit can be bad, but you can't allow things to remain bad. Yeah, if that makes sense. Like, you'll be upset or shit'll be going on, and I one thing I realized is I used to allow myself to like drown in it. And like, okay, this happened. Because this happened, I'm gonna allow myself to like I'm gonna allow myself to feel this. But I feel like it got to a point where it was like because I'm allowing myself to feel it, I'm feeling it too much, and I'm allowing myself to like be stuck in it. But now like when stuff happens, it's like I accept it for what it is. Things do happen, but good things also happen. So,
you know, I'm learning more and more Number one, let me talk about the positive before I talk about the negative. Recently, you know, a nigga went to the Iverson class. You see the shirt. You see, we do big shit over here, you know. It was a great experience, you know, getting to see them celebrities. Honestly, like, seeing that made me think, like, this shit is possible. You know what I mean? Like, and, like, you are a nobody to these people. Like, you're, like... you see all these people and how they get treated and shit like that. Like, it really is like a fucking college atmosphere when it comes to like celebrities.
For real?
It's like, oh, these are all the cool kids that everyone wants to be around and shit. Oh, get in for free. You can come in. You want some free food? You know what I mean? Or that popular person. Well, of course, they're a celebrity, but it's like everything is free. So I looked at it. I'm like, you know, it's a lot of work, yeah, that niggas have to do, but it's worth that. It's worth that for that benefit of like being that cool, like just seeing that outlook. I said, yeah, this is something I can, you know, obtain and shit like that. So niggas just putting more power into, you know, the podcast and, you know, Before the Buzz as a media company is in its entirety. But just seeing that was great. What else good happened in my life? Nothing else.
Nigga, shit. It's been good shit that's happened to you. Even if you just wake up. I feel like, didn't you just get good news?
No,
I feel like you just got good news. You just said something good was going on. But it's like, you gotta find it, bro.
To make myself feel better.
Find it, because you might need that. Like,
I lost it.
The house was clean when I came back.
Yeah,
that was good.
When you are jobless, that's what all you got the fuck to do. Is
I thought niggas about to try to listen. Nah, for real, it be like that. But you jobless by choice.
I am jobless by choice right now, but not like I'm not. All right, people. Let me turn to the camera right here. I'm not jobless. Like, I am jobless by choice, but I am looking for a job. I have fucking bills. I'm a grown.
If you got a company, hire him. He need the money.
I need the fucking money.
We need rent.
Honestly, like, this time I am putting into like putting this shit together. Like this podcast shit. I'm telling y'all, in a year or two, we gonna be on top. And I'm a clip this shit and I'm gonna put this shit up there. And if it get a couple likes, I don't give a fuck, because I'm standing on we gonna be on top, and it's gonna be. A lot of motherfuckers gonna be salty just because they missed that wave, and I don't give a fuck. But back to it. But yeah, so yeah, I'm jobless. And it's been, you know, a tough time, rough time. I'm just tired of being like a parent dependent. You know what I mean? Like, I'm ready to be like independent on my own, but I hate making phone calls. Like, hey, you know,
you hate it?
I do. I really do, because it's like I don't like the feeling of I need you. Not saying it like that. Like, I love my mom to death, and I know she'll make sure, and my grandmother, I know that they'll make sure like I'm straight. But it takes it to a point where it's like I'm getting to 25. I need to get off this pacifier. I need to get off this nip or whatever the fuck, because it's like, yeah, that's my safety net, but I don't want it to be a safety net. You know, it's like it's not like this, but it's in the similar of like a nigga goes to college, came from good barriers and shit. Now he's trying to act like he been struggling, trying to get it and all that shit like that. I'm not trying to struggle. I'm trying to get it, but more of the story is that probably wasn't a good analogy for it. More of the story was I'm in this phase of life where like I'm just channeling everything to this and trying to get everything together as best way I can. Another thing, you know, I think we're gonna get to this topic. I just had to close a chapter in my life, a 3-year emotional type of thing, and it was
like a prison bed, or
towards the end it felt like a prison bed of emotions, but at the end of the day, like that has been. I just felt like for me to progress in life, I had to close a couple like things that's distracted me, and not saying it was a bad distraction, but I needed to progress on who I am, and that self-love shit, it really hit. Go ahead.
Okay, cause knowing about, like, I know about the situation,
yeah.
But, so it's like I get it, but I don't think that's like the way you describing it. I don't think that's a chapter you had to close out in order to progress.
I did. I feel like I did. I'm learning that I can't multitask like how I think I can multitask. Like, all right, I'll say if said person calls me, I will literally be on the phone as much as I can, and I know I have paperwork and shit to do, or I know I said, all right, well, I'm gonna do this before the buzz, or I'm gonna do this for the podcast today, and I'll just be sitting on the phone with said person until that time is up. I will make adjustments for that person, like
procrastination. And shit,
procrastination. But like I said, closing that chapter is like, I got some things I gotta work on myself. You know what I mean? I got emotional ties, and that's why I tell people. Like, I tell my friends that's girls and shit like that. When it comes to a relationship, you really have to be ready for that shit. And I know we touched on relationships like episode what the ever the fuck. We're early, but it's more so like that emotional tie to a person can, like, once it ends, can make you physically sick. And it was like I spent a whole Sunday, and I'm like, I didn't eat. But it was just like, I'm full. Like, I'm so sad that I'm full. You know what I mean? I didn't cry. I don't know why it's been so hard for me to, like, cry.
Maybe you got a blockage.
Maybe something is in my eye and I can't really.
No, like for real, like an emotional blockage or something.
I don't know what that is.
Emotional or mental, like it's something that's keeping you from crying.
But I feel like it's nothing to cry about. Like, I used to always tell her, like, you know, when we linked and shit like that, and she would cry, I would always tell her, like, I'm a person. I'm nothing to cry about. You know what I mean? Like, even when it came to, like, death, like I know it's coming. You know what I mean? I'm not anticipating it, but I'm like, I know it's coming. So it's nothing for me to really. I'm gonna cry right then and there, but it's like, it's nothing for me to keep harping on. You know what I mean? Even with this situation, it's nothing for me. All right, well, people lose out of touch. People lose out of love. You know what I mean? It's nothing for me to keep harping on. Like, but what am I?
Did you want to cry, though, in them moments?
I didn't want to cry. It just hurt real bad. And I read something. It was like, love is not supposed to hurt. It's supposed to heal. So I was like, so what dictates the love? Because it feels, well, when it hurts, it's too much love that you're pouring into a person versus that. But that's what I'm saying.
I don't think it's about like pouring in more and getting less out, or even vice versa or whatever. I think it's more so like you mourning that person, because essentially you are losing them in some kind of aspect. So like for you, it's a relationship, like that's a more intimate relationship for you. And now you close, like you said, you closing that chapter. So now that person, like the things that you had with that person is no longer there, and you know you won't have that no more, at least for the time being. So that might be what it is, versus it being like love. I do believe love shouldn't hurt, but that doesn't mean love can't hurt you.
I was reading the 4 agreements to do it, and I tried this new thing now. I try to read like 2 or 3 pages before I start my day. You know, I know a lot of people start off prayer. I took a picture of it. I'm trying to get to it. So it says, if someone abuses you a little bit more, you abuse yourself. You will probably walk away from that person. But if someone abuses you a little less than you abuse yourself, you will probably stay in that relationship or tolerate it endlessly. If you abuse yourself very badly and you can even tolerate someone who beats you up, humiliates you, and treats you like dirt. Why? Because in your belief system, you say, I deserve it. This person is doing me a favor by being with me. I'm not worthy of love and respect. I'm not good enough. So with that being said, I never felt like, I just felt like I was doing, as I took myself as a third person, I never said I wasn't good enough. I was just trying to be like, hey, I'm good. Like, I'm the good guy. You know what I mean? I love you. I'm here. I got you everything. You want this? I got it. I'm going to make sure. And it was driving me like broke. You know what I mean? Like, it was like to impress, make somebody else happy. So that's why I said I had to close that chapter of my life, because I'm not happy. I'm happy making this person happy. And I had to understand, like, when you said something about love languages and shit like that, I said I necessarily don't know what a love language is. You know what I mean? I don't know what I like to receive. Sometimes a hug feels good. Sometimes, I mean, yeah, physical is a fucking love language. But in essential, I don't know what a mutual love is supposed to be. You know what I mean? Because I stepped into it like, all right, this person's trying to get over this person. But I'm the rebound relationship, and it's like, it's rocky as fuck. And then it turned into we don't want to see each other happy as with someone else. You know what I mean? In a situationship. But I knew that, hey, if it is a time where we are more mature in life and we say, all right, well, we fucked up. We was early. We was young and shit like that. And the time does, I'd rather end it now so that could potentially happen. But I'm okay now to the point where I said, if somebody does step in and treat you better, I'm happy with that. You know what I mean? I can't hold a grudge for shit. So it's like, but that's why I tell people all the time, like, why are y'all in this relationship? If you guys, you know what I mean? Like,
but I mean, shit, ask yourself. Like,
yeah, but that's what I had to take into account. I was my biggest hypocrite when it came to shit like that. Like, I would be, you know, dealing with people and then it'd just be like, well, you know, I'm not trying to, you know, get in love because I wanted this one person. And it was just, and I hate to go back to like, it's attention. I'm an only child. So if I'm not getting that attention from that person, I only want that attention. You know what I mean? So it's like, hey, I'm here. What you need? You said I'm coming up. You're this, I'm here. I'm there. I'm the best guy you ever had. Because I wanted the attention I felt needed, and I needed that love from you, or that validation to say I'm good, we're doing this together, type shit like that. So yeah, that was a little rant of my personal transparency. Go ahead if you have anything to add on to that. You don't.
I don't, because that was a lot. You just dumped a lot.
Yeah, I did. I was venting.
I think. Shit, that was a lot, but it wasn't like, you know, it was like,
it's transparency.
Yeah, but you know the sad thing is like, I've never experienced nothing like that yet. Like I haven't experienced the loss of like, or feeling like I've lost someone like that severely to that point where it's like, I feel like I'm getting sick or something. I feel like I've only had, I want to say this right, but I don't want to be offensive when I say it. But I want to say like I've only had like, okay, I'll say this then. I know for a fact I've only had like one serious relationship as an adult. So it's like,
yeah, go ahead.
So it's like with that, maybe that's why, because it's like I've only had the one serious relationship, but it's like, nigga, I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like this as an adult, this has been my first serious like adulthood relationship. And it was like I met some really dope women along the way. You know what I mean? But you're not her. You're not that person. You're not that person. You're not that girl. You're not that girl. So it's like it ties into like men can be like we try to be hard with love, like, you know, I maybe because I was raised by women, but like I feel when I like a lot, you know what I mean? I feel a lot when those type of situations happen. I try to have this like hard exterior when it comes to a person, but it's just more so like I can't deny feelings. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna sugarcoat like, hey, this, and you know, we had a prior conversation and it was like, you can't say everything. You can't tell me about me in that situation. But I said I can, because I'm telling you, this is how I feel. And if I know me and I know myself, I know I won't be able, because I didn't say this, I didn't say that. That's gonna be a constant thought in my head. You know, with anxiety, that happens a lot. You know, I worry a lot. I worry about shit that is not even supposed to happen. I probably be worrying about kids I don't even have. That's just the problems with anxiety. Like, you know, I do this shit a lot. I'll pace around because it's just like I don't know what to do with myself. I'm filled with like a lot of thoughts and shit like that. Or I'll just walk around, or I'll do that in my room. You know what I mean? Like I'll just get up and walk around and shit like that, because, or like hearing like doing that, I just felt like, you know, even being on the phone and say, hey, we can't do this no more. Like the anxiety was like so much, I couldn't even breathe. I couldn't even, like, I'm so unbalanced with emotions and shit like that. But now I feel kind of good. You know, I'm okay, like knowing that, hey, this was a time in my life that I probably needed to learn, or this is my time in my life that, you know, we both were happy. And, you know, granted, you know, circumstances were circumstances, but we were, I think it's just, when do you say it's time to let go.
You know, I've been thinking about that a lot. I feel like me and you had that conversation maybe 2 weeks ago, not on the podcast but at home, and I was saying like, if both people or let's say you come to the realization in a relationship like, I don't want to go no further. This is like, I know like I'm done, but I also know like I'm not unhappy with this person. This person isn't a terrible person. I'm not, you know how people kind of say I lose interest fast. I'm just no longer excited anymore. How do you like say that without it being hurtful or without it being a you know, one of them situations where now you're the bad guy?
I don't know, because like I said, like I don't know when is that button to say, hey, I'm fed up with shit. I can't do this shit. I think it's like when you're like can't find a reason to stay. It's like it's time to go. Like you're just blatantly making excuses, and that's what I was trying to get at too. Like guys make a lot of excuses on why, like, you know, she's this and she's this, and the same way as girls, like we try to put on the front like we don't make those excuses, but we really do. Like, so it's like, I don't know, like love is complicated. Like even further back, my sophomore year, I read Black Privilege by Charlemagne. And he was telling me, like, you know, he was doing his shit, you know, him and his longtime girlfriend. And she, you know, she went off to college, and she told him, like, I had sex with this person. It was really good. It was great. You know what I mean? So he was like, I can't get mad because I was doing me and I was doing her so dirty. I was doing that. So it's like, but they, you know, they eventually get married with kids, but he's in his career field. You know, we all know Charlemagne, and well, we all know from what he gives us. You know what I mean? As you know, he was wilding out. You know, so it's just like he just had to put it into a perspective. Like, when is love worth it? When is it worth the fight? To be like, I know it's something there, but I know we have to break this shit right now so it can be that later.
I feel like for me, because I've done the cutting off of a couple times, so I feel like for me it gets to a point where it's like, I want to say the moment I realize like, all right, this isn't going no further, that's kind of the moment when I'm done, and I kind of like, to me in my head, I know that I'm done in that moment, and then the next few weeks is just like, this gonna sound like an asshole, but it's like trial and error. It's like not trial and error, but it's like, this is a test run. This is gonna be what's gonna, like, I'm gonna give it some time, so I'm not just rushing into something because I'm thinking about it right now, but I'm gonna sit and wait and watch and observe how things go. And if things don't get better between us, then after some time, I'm gonna have to let you know, like, it's not working for us.
I think with women, like, some women think like niggas are, like, some are really naive. I'm not a naive kind of guy. I pay attention. You know what I mean? And that's what I think a lot of women don't understand, that men do pay attention to you. Like, all right, if you scratch I'm this guy. If you scratch your fucking face on the right this way, but you're telling me a lie, I've always know that if you're telling me like the truth, you're scratching your face this way, but now you're scratching it to your left or something like that. I'm just that minute. Like, say if you drop a fucking pin or something, like, I'm very observant of my partner and their actions, and I feel like they don't. Well, now you're exposed. Now you know. Oh. But no, it's just like shit like that. Like, I always know when something is not right, and I feel like even with like love, men are physical. You know what I mean? Like, no man wants a woman knowing that somebody else has been in their house, as in, you know, vagina. Oh. Yeah, that's just something like my mom has always told me. Like, no man wants to know another man has been in his house. Because now you're looked as devalued. And I always look at, like, you know, women is like, yeah, you can do, this is the same way as this is my penis, this is your vagina. But I look at it like this, like, what did he do to get that reward? Because I know that I'm very supportive. This is not my situation, but I'm very supportive. I'm this and this and that. What did he do
to make you want to risk it?
To make you want to risk and give him that reward? Because that is to receive. That is a gift. You can't. to me, to some, but to me, if we're in close ties and close encounters, like if it's a hoe, a hoe is a hoe. A hoe is a fucking hoe. But I'm just saying, like, if we're dealing with each other, what did that person do to get that reward? Mm-hmm. Because if the nigga was just talking some good shit and you gave it to him, then I know this person was worthless to the degree. That's just me.
See, the thing is, I don't give a fuck about none of that. I don't care what this nigga did for you that got you excited. I don't care who this nigga is or none of that. The fact is like you did some shit that we said we wouldn't do.
Right.
I'm at the end of the day, because that's at the end of the day, in them type of circumstances, that's the agreement. Like, neither one of us is gonna step out, and you stepped out. Yeah. So it's like,
and I don't think, but in my thing, to not like conform it, but like to say it like that, it's not like I'm mad. That's not like an initial conversation. Like, what did he do? Mm-hmm. Did he talk to you like this? But like, I'm saying, like, I'm gonna look at you like, so this nigga did this, and you did it. You know what I mean? So that's what it is.
I'm gonna
laugh
at your ass.
Yeah, like I'm gonna make you. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna make you feel stupid in that moment because it's like, all right, so he was the one that did this and this and this and that. Oh no, he was just a lit nigga in the club. You know what I mean? Okay, all right. Well, you and him be a lit in the club together, type shit like that. That's just how I roll with it. And I be forgetting my points because I be going on tangents. And I'm a firm believer of it's not what you do, it's how you do it. Mm-hmm. Like if we have an understanding and that's what you did, okay. But now if you make rule number one, and I adapted this when I was like a kid in my elementary school, teacher used to tell me this. Rule number one: don't embarrass me. Mm-hmm. That's it. If you embarrass me, I don't want to deal with you. And that's solely like don't embarrass Miss Crossan. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like we the good kids. Like make sure we all in line. Don't embarrass her. Mm-hmm. That's one thing. Don't embarrass me. Don't make me the butt end of the fucking jokes when you out here doing you or whatever the case may be. Or don't make me feel like I'm the fucking stupid goofy ass nigga and you over here doing some other shit. You know what I mean? So that's how I say it's not what you do, is how you do it, and that's what a lot of even men and women don't understand. You know what I mean? If you have an understanding, shit, you know, give a fuck what you do, but how you do it. If you fucking a bitch and you get a phone call and you answering the phone while you fucking a bitch, that's foul shit.
Yeah, that's disrespectful.
Yeah, that's foul shit. But I'm just saying in general, like, versus, all right, I fuck somebody, they upstairs, but I'm stepped outside or some shit like that. It's more better than the act of it.
I get what you mean. Of course, people go look at it and be like, either way is disrespectful. Bad, yeah. But you in the middle of the act and you on the phone with me.
Exactly.
That shows me like, all right, number one, I'm gonna say this. I don't believe everybody when they cheat, they cheating to spite you. So I don't think, like, even though you might be cheating, I don't think you are cheating on me in order to necessarily hurt me. You might just be a hoe, and it might just be up in you.
Is it like an in the moment thing? Do you think it's a lot of times in the moment thing?
I do. I think cheating does happen in the moment, and I feel like in certain circumstances it's like shit happens, but unless some shit is already planned out, like, yo, I know this is what I'm about to get into, like. Shit happens in the moment. So if you start fucking in the moment and I call and you answer and you getting back shots by some nigga while I'm on the phone with you,
kill these motherfuckers.
Yeah,
kill these motherfuckers.
That's a whole different situation versus like you got caught in a situation, you was doing some shit. Mm-hmm. Now you on your way home and hey, I'm on my way home, I'm doing this and that. Blah, 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 or whatever. Like, that's different. It's a difference between what you doing and how you do it, like you said. Can we talk about...
We can talk about anything you want.
Man, that's... Because I want to kind of get into, like, ending relationships. And not necessarily even got to be an intimate relationship, but, like, just, like...
In general.
Yeah, like...
Go ahead. Please.
And not even just ending, but just relationships in general. Like, This is I've been wanting to do this, like talk about this for a long time, and now that I got the floor, it's like what now?
Yeah, go ahead.
But
you haven't.
I feel like a lot of people don't realize it's it'd be okay to end things. So like even with your situation, like you know,
I'm still hurting.
You is, and that's cool, cause shit, and to be hurting is to know like at one point you was loved. Yeah, and that's how I look at it with death too. You can only cry over this person because you felt so much for this person. Yeah, and not saying that crying it should validate what you're going through, or crying validates like the shit that you experiencing. That's the same exact sentence.
Literally.
Just literally, I just tweaked the end of it. Copy and pasting and tweaking the last sentence. But it's just crying don't validate that. It's not going. You being hurt and shit like that isn't what makes the relationship. But you feeling like, okay, all this love I have for this person, and you probably still do have all that love, but you just know it won't be shared the way that you're used to sharing it. Exactly. And shit like that ends. And that'd be okay.
That was it?
No, it wasn't it. Dude, what? But, okay, so look, all right, I don't know, bro. I'm just, we older now. Yeah. I'm old as shit. Like, niggas is old.
Mid-20s. That's not old.
That's old right now.
Keep your point. But I'm gonna make this real quick. Mm-hmm. As time goes, I'm really young as fuck. Like, I'm thinking the niggas just like popping off right now. These niggas like 28, 30. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not like I'm young. Like, I'm still in my fucking 20s. I'm doing more shit. I'm realizing it like now. Like, I'm doing more shit in my fucking 20s than the average fucking 20-year-old. Yeah, I don't fucking desire being in a fucking club all day. No, I'm trying to go get it so I can fucking provide for my game plan was always to have my friends around. That was the always littest shit to me. When fucking celebrities had their fucking homies with them and doing fucking work. Like Seth Rogen and them niggas and all making them niggas all in the movies and shit like that. That was always dope to me. So I'm 24 trying to fucking figure it out. Yeah, niggas is popping up. I don't give a fuck about that shit. We got time. That's it. Go ahead.
Okay. So I was just gonna kind of really just talk about like the relationships that we have with people, whether that's an intimate relationship, friendship, or you know, even the relationship that you have with like your parent, and like not really how to police those kind of relationships, but how to maintain those relationships, and when to know when, all right, shit do got to be cut off, or you know, shit ain't always like whatever.
I think what a lot of times, even with me, I think now is like, what value do you bring? And I know a lot of people like, oh, what the fuck you mean? What value? No, like, seriously, what is the gain from this friendship? The gain for you? All right, I'll write them down. The gain for me. You know what I mean? So it's like people need to stop acting like everybody's not an opportunist to a certain degree. It's certain opportunists, but like in that regard, it's just like, what value do you bring to me? If it's nothing, all right, we ain't fucking drinking, kicking it all the fucking time. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to do that all the time. So yeah, I can love you from a distance, and that's what a lot of people don't understand. Like, I can be your friend from a distance. We don't have to always have to kick it. Be like, I still fuck with you. You know what I mean? But I can love you from a fucking afar and let you do whatever the fuck you want to do as a friend. But you're not gonna keep putting toxins into my friendship and fucking my circle up and making me do habits and all this different shit. Like, that's when I know, like, if it ain't benefiting me for the progression of myself, then hey, you gotta go. You gotta go.
I also don't believe like someone gotta directly benefit you in order to be friends. Of course,
I do. As soon as you stop benefiting me, it's over. It's wraps.
Okay, and the reason why I wanted to kind of get into this is because you said something earlier about like the when you was talking about like an intimate relationship, and you was like kind of similar. How does it benefit me? Or no, you said you had to move past it, or you had to close it because it was kind of like
making you stagnate a progression. Yeah,
and it's like I see a lot of people. I feel like this sounds weird.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
I see a lot of people in friendships or relationships and shit with people because they feel like, all right, by me ending this friendship, this is gonna get me to my next level. When in reality, nigga, some shit you just need to work on as a person.
Yeah.
So like that's why I was like earlier when you was like, oh yeah, I'm in it to become a better person. All right, so how is that gonna how is you ending that making you a better person?
It's well, when I said that, it's more like I know myself. You know, like I said, I'm not a multitasker. Like if I'm all in. Like I got the poker hand, I got all my fucking chips in. So that's just me. Like I know myself enough to be like, if I keep doing this, I'm not gonna get to reach my height. You know what I mean? And that's just with anything. Like every time I have like a major movement of somebody that was like impactful, maybe you gotta go too. But
if I go, I go.
But like if it's not like in that shift of like I always do great shit after that. Like I always turn up the heat. And I was like, maybe that's just the inspiration part. But that's just like literally everything goes right. Like business be clicking and shit like that.
And for me, that's kind of like my problem. Because it's like, I feel like sometimes people fuck up relationships and shit purposely so they can feel like, okay, this is the motivation I needed. So now I'm a character in your story. Like I'm a stepping stone for you. When in reality, like, nigga, you could be great without having to, like, you don't have to
cut off everybody. Yeah. You know what I mean? And like that's what I feel like, again, when we was just talking about social media be like, you gotta cut off everybody, you gotta do like, no, it's like I still got my homie fucking Jeff. I talk about Jeff probably more early on in the episodes, but like me and Jeff are doing two different fucking things. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's my homie. Like I'm not gonna cut Jeff off because we're not doing the same thing or he doesn't want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And another fucking thing, stop fucking giving me advice if you don't know what this field entails. Because then it throws me off sometimes because I'm like, all right, we need to do this. But then it'd be like, well, this shit is working. What the fuck? Like, I'm not saying like you can't get advice, but stop. For me,
know
personally,
your place.
Yeah, like know your place. Like if you don't know what niggas do to do even a podcast, shut the fuck up. Like literally, shut the fuck up.
What's crazy about that? When I was just home this weekend, my brother was like, "Yeah, I seen your podcast, and I just don't really be caring for the stuff you talk about on there, and you talk about this and that." And I'm like, "What is it that you don't care for?" And he brought up something. He was like, "Yeah, the relationship shit you be talking about," and I'm like, "What you talking about?" Whole time this nigga watching somebody else's podcast. Like he's watching Carl's podcast, and you know Carl's on the podcast with someone else.
Okay.
Like, and it's not to shit on them, but they shit ain't structured. Like they be talking about anything and getting their shit off like Twitter and coming right to the podcast video with it. Except for Carl. All Carl shit do be like, all right, nigga. On point. Yeah. But I'm like, nigga, you're not watching my shit. You watching somebody else's shit, but you trying to give me criticism on my shit.
Right.
And I know for a fact I've sent my shit into the group chat. I repost my shit on my pages. So for you to not already like know the name, as my brother, you should know the name of my podcast.
You talking about Carl? This is Carl or your different brother?
This is a different brother. He should know the name of my podcast, and you should at least know that. All right. Nigga, I'm not in none of these fucking. I'm not in none of the videos. He talking about, yeah, you sharing clips and stuff, and I'm like, nigga, are you watching my page or are you watching somebody else's?
Right.
And so it's just like back to what you were saying about the giving advice. It's like you don't know, so don't try to give me advice on some shit you don't know. And with him, it's like you not even watching my shit, but you trying to give me advice on how to run my shit.
And just another thing with that shit, like. Everybody, like, music, I look at podcasts like music. Everybody has a fucking different sound. It might be people that fuck with us that just be like, all right, these niggas be just reckless. These niggas talk about some transparent shit. These niggas, like, it may just work for us. You know what I mean? Everything that you feel, and that's what it was. It was this thing in this book, and it was just basically like, people, you have to be this good person in people's like moral circumference, or you got to be doing something and people's like, mind your fucking business. Like literally, mind your fucking business. Like we're like, yeah, everybody doesn't know what the fuck we're doing, and it's the beginning stages. Like to people who has had podcasts 250 episode 258, we're on episode 21, 22, whatever episode I titled this bitch to be. We're on this fucking episode. So stop giving us fucking advice on shit that you don't know what the fuck is going on. Let me know if you know some algorithms. Let me know if you know some shit about some shit that's gonna get us ahead, or some viewerships, or some newsletters, or whatever, or some marketing tactics.
Repost our shit. Stop giving advice if you not even like. If y'all got me yelling in the mic, but if you are not supporting on the basic levels, because sharing is a basic fucking skill. All you have to do is push a button. So if you aren't like, and it's again, I'm trying to be humble when I say this, but if you aren't sharing, if you not liking our stuff or interacting with our stuff, but you trying to give us advice, especially, and that's for the people who we know, people who are in our circles, people who we are close to or friends with. Like, don't pass advice if you aren't even supporting.
Bro, another thing too, to add on to that, if you are like, I mean, fuck, did I forget it? I did forget it. Basically, long story short, is like this. I see all the numbers. That's where I was getting at. I see all the fucking numbers. It's 115 people that interact with our shit, that, you know, that's on our page. We reached 19,000 people on Instagram with our reels. 19,000 fucking people in a span of a month. In a span of 3 months, we've had reached 100K. So it takes fucking time to build some shit. It's easier to ride a wave than it is to create a wave. So, like I said, we're trying to progress and get this shit. We're taking the create a wave route. So right now, I understand we're in our beginning stages. We're not being hard-headed. We're not trying to we're not trying to like, you know, be like these unhumble niggas like, oh, you wouldn't know. But like, you know, so you got good crack when you got good crack. Like, honestly, like, we just hit 300 followers or something. It may not seem like a lot to you or to the next person, but hey, 300 people to go on this fucking page. It's a lot of people that have podcasts that still have 23 fucking followers, and they've been doing this shit for a year.
And followers don't equal quality.
It don't equal quality, because people can follow you and not interact. But like I said, I don't even know a clip we dropped. I don't even know 250 people that fucking did it. But it's strangers that do it. Yeah, you know what I mean. It's people who like that. Another clip, 45 other people did it, and it's not our followers. It's not people that we know. So with that, I'm gonna say this. Oh shit, wrong button. It's about that time where we give you an awkward positive message to get through the week. So, nigga, what is your awkward positive message for the fucking week?
Let me think. Give people their flowers while they here. This morning we found out somebody we know, we went to school with, she passed on this morning, which is sad. Rest in peace, Thomas Shea. Yeah. Give people flowers while they here, and I'm not saying nobody didn't give her flowers while she was here. I see a lot of people sharing love and showing love today, and I really respected that, and I just want to remind us to do that while we are here still too. Yeah, that's it really. Like, just make sure we, you know, it's always a person who literally could use your love right now. Just reach out to somebody, let them know, like, yo, I love you. I love you too. That wasn't for you. That wasn't for you. You know who you is. But no, like, let people know that you care for them, you love them, and like, you know what you think of them. You'll be surprised. People don't know, like, that they care for and that they're loved. That's it for real.
I wrote my shit down. I was prepared today. Yeah, I usually kind of go off the cuff, but I had to write my thoughts out. It's gonna sound very cliche, but I don't really give a fuck. be careful on who you give your love to. It's all right to date and shop around, but don't ignore the red flags. It sounds cliche, but seriously, don't ignore them. It's so. What did I write? Oh, yeah, and it's truth behind every fucking joke, too. So be mindful of that. Like, I used to joke a lot about fucking my dad not being in my life early on in grade school. Nigga, that shit was true. It shit hurt, but I'm grown as hell now, so I don't give a fuck. That being said, I'm Nas.
I'm Vince.
Thank you for being awkward with us. See you next week.
Laura is the face in the misty.